we do got some good news more coming. It's in the Ethereum space, but of course that if and it's funny because you have all these what they everyone well, this was maybe years ago. I don't even know if they do it anymore. Everything but Bitcoin was an S coin, right? And poo poo coin, and yeah, it's like okay, well, you have Bitcoin, but now you have Ethereum that's creeping up, and there was always talk: is it going to overtake it? Well, remains to be seen. But there's some big news coming up in the Ethereum space, and came out this came out this week. But to be fair, it's been on the docket for this to happen for some time. Right. The foundation talks about these types of upgrades frequently if you're paying attention. And we're talking, of course, about the Shanghai upgrade. And the big thing about the Shanghai upgrade, and it can be taken good or bad, right? Because it does give the ability to enable validators to withdraw staked ether and some of the rewards that are currently locked up. Now, this article is, of course, indicating that JP Morgan is saying it may have some selling pressure because of it. So we may see potential dip. But, I think the thing is that we need to consider as Ethereum progresses, as they build out Ethereum, these type of upgrades get us closer to 2.0. There may be some temporary sell pressure, but understand that this is just one more ring up that ladder that we need to get to the top of, well, to the end game, which is Ethereum 2. Of course, Ethereum 2 has all those low gas fees, sharding, and a lot of functionality that if you take a look where we were 3 years ago when the NFT craze was in, or was it two and a half, it was crazy. You couldn't buy an NFT without spending $300 worth of gas. But and hopefully this improves upon all of that. Rico, what do you think? Is this good news, bad news? We're going to see a dip before an up, or is this going to the moon?
Um, at the end of the day, it's Ethereum's gonna be here to stay, right? Because everything's built on it. I usually say Ethereum's like a sleeping giant because we kind of overlook that, like how many projects are built on the ETH network, right? So like it's not going nowhere. It has its own value compared to like what Bitcoin is. It's not. I don't think ETH will pass up Bitcoin because maybe I'm being biased and I love Bitcoin for that reason. But you cannot overlook that so many projects are built on Ethereum. Now, this kind of news, I'm not gonna lie, I don't take it that well. But they're not gonna shake me out the market, right? It's like a lot of people who already know crypto, and even if you don't know about it, now you're coming into it as of it being like this from now on. So it's not like you really know about the past, but even this, I'm still bullish on holding Ethereum because how many projects are built on it? It's not going nowhere. So overall, in the short term, it can probably have some selling pressure. I'm not gonna lie. I'll always be honest with you guys, but long term, it's not going nowhere. It's a sleeping giant, Ethereum. Everything's built on it, and
I agree. I mean, guy's a genius, and in fact, what he did, even what I feel like one of the biggest moves that he ever did was making sure that it didn't necessarily fall on one individual, which is why you have the foundation. And what I love about the foundation is that you have multiple different countries representing, multiple different teams from different countries representing some of the brightest minds in the space coming together to identify what the future backbone is and how to make sure that it remains that backbone and the number one option out there for blockchain. So, Kyle, what do you say? Is this good news? Does this bring us into the future? Is this going to hurt us in the short term? What's your thoughts?
Well, it's hard to say. Nobody can really predict the future, right? But I mean, I get more attention on everything in the crypto space and get the charts moving up and people's trust. You're going to get more of your average investors interested. And I mean, if we can find some sort of stability where they feel their investments are safe and they can make money, what a good opportunity here.
It's something that you said there, and it was about keeping it safe, right? And the thing about Ethereum is that it's tried and it's true, and it's been tested. And the security aspect of it is is one of those things that really has is a super strength for it because you have a lot of these blockchains that are currently out there that are touting high speeds, low cost, but there's not a lot of projects on it, right? Rico spoke to it, Braun spoke to it. There's all I feel like actually everyone on the panel has spoken to the fact that you have majority of the projects on this blockchain, and there's no other really that's making a dent in it at this time. I mean,
Yeah.
even in the near future. Don't get me wrong. I do think that there is value in having other chains out there, right?
Mhm.
And building those foundations. You never know. 20 years from now, 10 years from now, that may be the future. But Ethereum is it for us right now. Ty, what do you think?
Yeah, I think short term, it'll take a bit of a downturn. There's no doubt that some of those validators, when it comes, when they come unlocked, they're going to take some profits. They're going to take some money, and that's okay. It's good to see it pumping up, slightly now, so that can absorb some of it. But in the long term, it's bullish because, as you said, as Ethereum reaches those lower gas fees, everything changes. Because to me, I really do think that may be one of the few things that kind of holds Ethereum back to some extent at the moment, is the fear of the gas fees. Everybody who lived through that gas fee fiasco
Yeah.
knows what it was like to get stuck in something that you might have put a little tiny little bit in and been way up on, but it wasn't worth selling because the gas fees were so high. So and I love Ethereum, and Ethereum's not going anywhere because just like you said, there's other chains trying to be similar, but nobody's Ethereum. Nobody, as far as mainstream, Ethereum's, when it Bitcoin's the granddaddy of crypto, but I think that Ethereum is the granddaddy of crypto with a utility. That is because there's so much built on it, and it is mainstream. There's so much on Ethereum that we don't realize it's in our everyday life already.
Granddaddy of utility. I feel like I want to use that one. Did you coin that? I feel
Right?
like you should. But I agree. You're right. I mean, if the fact is that if Bitcoin is gold, if Bitcoin is assets, then Ethereum is the utility base in which all transactions will occur. I've been saying that one for years, and I think that there's a misunderstanding that anything that is built on Ethereum is asset class or cryptocurrency. Man, I hate the term cryptocurrency because there's much more to this than just currency. There's
Yeah.
the memes and all that. There's value to it. I mean, we see it. I don't want to say it too loud, but Doge is one of those, right? And when you have someone like Musk putting value into it and indicating, hey, listen, the simplicity of it, the fact that it doesn't require significant amounts of energy to exchange it should be the reason why we use it as a particular currency. I don't necessarily like the fact that it's Doge. I wish it were something a little bit more sophisticated, but I get it.
Mhm.
Now, when it comes to utility, though, yes, it is the future. We talk about Web 3. We're not close to true Web 3, but this is a start. This is how we get there. Barbara, what
Yeah.
do you think? Ethereum is the future, the past?
Well, for me, it is. I can accumulate more Ethereum than Bitcoin, and as you guys said, all the points that you have to buy with Ethereum at a long run. I know Ethereum is going to be 4,000, like we saw it one time. And I remember you were talking about the NFTs, and I'm in this project that when I bought NFTs, I paid 200 for one NFT for gas fee, and it was crazy. I was like, oh my god! But then why I didn't buy two at the same time? But since I was starting crypto because I'm a newbie in crypto, I started when the bull was running. So yeah, and it was crazy, and I think it's gonna get there again, and it's gonna go up. Okay, it's not gonna be the same as Bitcoin, but I see Ethereum, going into the 5,000 or more soon.
Yeah, sure.
Yep.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if we hit five digits. I mean, I think that there is that possibility. So the
Yeah.
future is bright for Ethereum. I'm an ETH head, so I'm biased. I feel like it makes sense that we need a strong, secure blockchain that is not controlled by a single entity. And that's what scares the heck out of me with some of the others. And when you have multiple countries involved, what you have is something that is not controlled by a particular country, not controlled by a particular entity. And I think the future is bright for Ethereum and certainly the entire space. So I agree with you, Barbara.
And when people start seeing that, because if you talk about crypto, everybody thinks about Bitcoin, crypto, Bitcoin. When they start doing the research, they see, the importance of Ethereum. Because if you don't have Ethereum, I cannot buy a lot of tokens. So people need to understand that there's more in crypto than Bitcoin.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when that starts happening, Ethereum is gonna blow up.
Oh, big time. I mean, we've had so many different projects here that go from art to music to games to utility based. I mean, it truly is the future. There are so many different functionality utilities that are going to be coming out of the space, and I think that's in part what is the governments of the world, especially in the U.S. here, struggling with. If we're going to identify this as an asset class, well, when you think about it, you can't do it for the entire set of everything that is in crypto, everything that is coming out, because it is not all asset class. It is not all currency. There's that functionality. There's still that utility to it. So that needs to be rethought. They have to have multiple different categories within this, and I suspect we're getting there.